historic second impeachment trial. Senators today acquitted former President Donald Trump by a vote of 57 to 43. Earlier, the two sides presented closing arguments and reached a deal to skip witness testimony that could have significantly delayed the trial. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry has more from Washington.
The respondent, Donald John Trump, former President of the United States, is not guilty as charged in the article of impeachment.
Less than 6 weeks after the deadly Capitol riot, a divided U.S. Senate voted to acquit former President Donald J. Trump on the impeachment charge he incited an insurrection.
Mr. Romney.
Guilty. 7 Republicans joined Democrats to vote guilty, but they did not reach the 2/3 majority needed for conviction. Lead House impeachment manager Jamie Raskin said it was the most bipartisan impeachment vote in U.S. history.
Trump stormed our house with the mob he incited, and we defended our house.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said he voted to acquit on constitutional grounds, but harshly rebuked the former president.
There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of the day.
One of Mr. Trump's defense attorneys was asked about McConnell's remarks.
We finished the grappling in that room and we slammed them down on the mat and won this case.
Before the vote, House impeachment managers wrapped up the 5-day trial, arguing Mr. Trump set the course for the deadly Capitol riot well before his rally that day.
The cold, hard truth is that what happened on January 6th can happen again.
After his acquittal, Mr. Trump issued a statement saying, in part, "This has been yet another phase of the greatest witch hunt in the history of our country. No president has ever gone through anything like it." Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Pennsylvania's U.S. Senator Pat Toomey was one of the Republicans voting to convict the former president. In a statement, he said Mr. Trump urged a mob to march on the Capitol to prevent Congress and the vice president from formally certifying the results of the election. He went on to say, quoting now, "I was one of the 47 million Americans who voted for President Trump in part because of the many accomplishments of his administration. Unfortunately, his behavior after the election betrayed that confidence that millions of us had placed in him. His betrayal of the Constitution and his oath of office required conviction."